Camera. Button. Call underscore. Hey Miles. Text field. Talk with Pi. Call underscore
We'll
24.
say good
Button.
morning
Call
to you
underscore
guys.
24.
We're gonna give a
Button.
little
Speech
shout
off.
out here. Here we go. We're gonna call Pi like this, and we're gonna talk and give a little shout out to Brian Craig in the Steve Kane Show. Here we go.
Awesome. Well, Miles, let's start with the basics. How are you feeling today? Any particular areas of life you're grappling with, or anything you're really excited about?
Hello, good morning to you, Pi. It's nice to have you here this morning. Would love to give a shout out to the Steve Kane Show from South Florida.
Wow, that's quite the legacy. The Steve Kane Show sounds like a real cornerstone of Florida radio, and one with quite a political bent, too. With 46 years on the air, it's amazing to think about how many listeners have tuned in over the years. You must really enjoy his take on the latest news and events. Have you been listening to the show for a while, or is this a newer discovery for you? And, more importantly, what's your favorite thing about tuning in?
Oh man, you know, I give a shout out to this guy who I really love personally. His name is Brian Craig.
Oh, wow. Brian Craig sounds like a real force to be reckoned with in the world of talk radio. It's clear that he's been on the airwaves for a long time and has a loyal following of listeners who appreciate his conservative perspective. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
interesting to see that he's been co-hosting with Steve Kane as well.
Oh yeah.
That must be an entertaining dynamic between the two of them, with their shared political leanings and, I'm guessing, their different experiences and personalities. Have you been listening to Brian Craig since he started his career in talk radio, or is this more of a recent discovery for you?
Well, in recent news, the mainstream media legacy news, it's been quite hard to find the truth these days. It's all getting too left leaning, or even on the other side, too much right leaning. So I thought, maybe the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig will do it. Oh, and I also like his podcast too. With give a shout out. Let's give a shout out to his wife, Kathy. She's very awesome.
Yes, the struggle to find unbiased, reliable news sources is a real one these days, isn't it? It's
Yes.
fantastic that you found solace in the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. They seem like a bastion of conservative thought and political discussion in the midst of an often confusing and chaotic news landscape. And it's great that you not only listen to the show, but also appreciate Brian Craig's personal life, his podcast, and especially his wife, Kathy. It's always interesting to see the personal side of public figures like Brian Craig.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Kathy is a real asset to his podcast. Have you ever reached out to Brian Craig or Kathy to let them know how much you enjoy their work? I bet they'd love to hear from a dedicated fan like you.
I haven't reached out to them yet, but I will. And I'll tell them how much I love this show. And I'm going to publish this as a video, as you know. I'm also recording this as a video with my screen recorder on iPhone, but I'm going to post this on YouTube. So what should I call this YouTube video about Brian Craig and the Steve Kane Show? What should I name this video?
That's so exciting, Miles. It sounds like you're going to have a great YouTube video on your hands. And I'm sure Brian Craig and the Steve Kane Show will be thrilled to hear about your dedication. As for the title of your video, it should be catchy and informative so that it draws viewers in and gives them a good idea of what to expect. Here are a few ideas for you to consider.
Okay.
Conservatism in the Age of Confusion. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Finding Truth in Talk Radio. A deep dive into the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The personal side of Brian Craig. his wife, his podcast, and his political views.
All
Each of
right.
these titles gives a good sense of what your video will be about, while also piquing interest with mentions of Brian Craig's personal life and the show's conservative leanings. What do you think? Do any of these ideas catch your eye?
I think so. I think I'm gonna name this the title, the deep dive into Brian Craig with AI assistant Pi, and I think this is a catchy, great title. All right, I'll look into it. Titling this video that.
That's a fantastic title, Miles. The
Yeah,
deep dive into Brian Craig with AI-assisted Pi is informative and eye-catching, and it does a great job of highlighting your collaboration with me in this project. And don't
yeah.
forget to include some keywords in the description and tags of your video to make sure it gets discovered by people who are interested in this topic. Words like conservatives, talk radio, Steve Kane Show, and Brian Craig can all help your video pop up in search results.
There we go. Those.
Oh, and one more thing to consider. Have you thought about including some clips or snippets from the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig in your video? That could really bring your commentary to life and give viewers a taste of what the show is all about.
Oh, definitely. That's what I would definitely look into doing. That's coming up next. Because not just mentioning them, but including little bits, 30-second clips maybe would be awesome. And interviews like this is really great.
That's a great idea, Miles. Including clips of the actual show will really help bring the energy and feel of the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig to your video, which can make for a much more immersive experience for your viewers. And the fact that you're keeping the clip short, only 32 seconds long, is really smart. That way you'll be less likely to run into any copyright issues, and your viewers won't get bored with long, drawn-out clips.
There you go.
It's a win-win. Plus, with those short clips, you can really pick out some of the most interesting or provocative moments from the show to showcase. Maybe a heated debate between Brian Craig and a liberal caller, or a particularly insightful analysis that Brian Craig gives on a current political issue. The possibilities are endless.
And I like it. I like when Brian Craig says this is where MAGA comes to talk. I love that phrase.
Yes, that's a great catchphrase from Brian Craig. Where Mega comes to talk really captures the spirit of the show, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a way of saying that this is where big ideas and important conversations come to life.
Yeah.
The kind of discussions that get people thinking and talking in real life. And speaking of Mega, that's a clever play on words too.
Yeah.
It's a reference to the show's political leanings. Mega conservative, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it also suggests that these discussions are larger than life, mega-sized, if you will. Do you think that you might use Where Mega Comes to Talk as a sort of intro or tagline for your video? It could be a really powerful way to hook viewers right from the start.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. that would be great too as well, and it could put my video in search results too, don't you think?
Absolutely, Miles. Using a popular phrase like Where Mega Comes to Talk in the title or description of your video can definitely help you rank higher in search results. That's because search engines like YouTube's algorithm look for words and phrases that are frequently searched for by viewers. So if a lot of people are searching for Where Mega Comes to Talk, which is likely given how often Brian Craig says it on the air, including that phrase in your video can help you get in front of those viewers. And don't forget that you can also use tags when you upload your video to help categorize it and make it more discoverable. You could use tags like Brian Craig, Steve Kane Show, talk radio, and of course, Where Mega Comes to Talk. That way, anyone searching for those terms is more likely to find your video.
Yeah. Or even like hashtag MAGA. MAGA. Yeah.
That's a clever idea, Miles.
Yeah.
Using the hashtag MAGA, as in Make America Great Again, can definitely help you tap into an audience of politically conservative viewers who are interested in the kind of content that Brian Craig and the Steve Kane Show are putting out. It might be a bit controversial to use that hashtag since it has become associated with a certain political movement and a certain former president. But that could actually work to your advantage, because controversial content tends to get a lot of engagement and views. Of course, you'll want to be mindful of how you use the hashtag. Maybe include it in your video title or description, but also make sure you're clear that your video is a discussion of Brian Craig and the Steve Kane Show, not a political rant or a campaign video.
Nah.
That way, viewers will know what to expect when they click on your video, and you'll be less likely to get caught up in any political drama.
There you go. Yeah. So that's right. That's right. Well, it was nice having you here for this awesome, wonderful special interview. And coming up on another interview that's coming up next. So I'll see you later in the next one.
Thank you, Miles. It's been a real pleasure being your AI companion for this video project. You're definitely on the right track with your ideas for the deep dive into Brian Craig with AI-assisted pie video. With those short clips, the catchy "Where Mega Comes to Talk" tagline, and the strategic use of the MAGA hashtag, I think you're setting yourself up for a successful and engaging video that'll reach the right audience. Looking forward to working with you on future projects. And don't forget to give me a shout out in the video if you want. It's always nice to be recognized for my hard work. Until next time, Miles.
Well, until next time, bye-bye.
Bye for now, Miles. Looking forward to...
Well, there you go. Here you guys. So shouts out to you guys to the Steve Kane Show. And we'll be back here on the next one. By now, here you guys. Always make sure you like this video. Subscribe to me, the djMyles radio channel. Also, I'm on Rumble. You can subscribe to me here on YouTube. And also, don't forget to like and share this video. Yeah.